Hey everybody, I'm the Chips Ahoy cookie, and I want to talk about brands. Get them away from me! When you see them online, they are the epitome of that Steve Buscemi 30 Rock meme. How do you do, fellow non-corporate entity humans? These brands are on every single social media platform, lurking, waiting for a tweet, a photo, or a video to go mega viral so they can comment on it and get free publicity. They are parasites. Every time you see this in the wild, please be insane to them. And I'm not simply saying just comment silence brand. I mean, it gets the job done. No. I endorse making their social media department regret the decision of commenting. Especially if you are the OP. Kind of like how Pop-Tarts commented on one of my most viral videos. And in response, I made a video accusing them of taking part in the assassination of JFK. Anyways, this is just kind of the current state of corporate online presences. To act like sassy wine moms on the internet with the hopes of having their brand recognition boost their like ratio to the top of the comment section. And it's embarrassing. Every single time, it's embarrassing. And I'm sorry, it's never not gonna be weird to see Burger King comment, "aw hell nah," or something dumb like that. And I'm sure that people in the comments are gonna comment something to the effect of, well, what about this one brand? They make posts that I like. That's super cool that you think that, but we don't share the same opinion. Doesn't work on me, that's all I'm saying. It's either completely cringe or it's offhandedly cringe because they are trying way too hard. I'm convinced that at least a couple of these companies have like 17-year-olds chained up in basements. They just force them to make dumbass TikToks. They hop on and off trends so fast. For example, demure. You remember in the summer of 2024, very mindful, very demure? You want to know exactly when people stop saying that? Literally the second a brand said it. And when brands hop on these cultural, aesthetic, and comedic trends, the relevancy that they gain never lasts. In most cases, at the very least. I don't know if everybody's seen this or it's just me because I'm chronically online, but Nutter Butter tried this new ad campaign specifically on their TikTok, where they just post really distorted and disturbing brain rot memes. Yeah, people talked about them for about a week. The week is all that it lasted. Compared to their views, their comment and like ratio is abysmal. I give it like 2 months before they decide to pull the plug. They're eventually just gonna become another sassy online brand account commenting dumb things on viral videos. A return to the fold. This is a phenomenon of humanization of online social media brands that I like to call online brand personas. And I trace its prevalence today to one single event. A tweet from the official Wendy's account in 2017. For pretty much all of advertising history, some semblance of professionalism was to be expected, even in regards to stuff like guerrilla marketing tactics, like using sex to sell products or using some sort of bold and controversial statement in marketing. Even with those actions, brands were still kind of expected to be brands, to still have that unspoken agreement that they are operating as a business collective and not as an individual. So when a business makes a mistake, it's really weird. But when a human makes a mistake, it shows everybody that they're a human. It's a characteristic that sparks relatability. I mean, obviously not if you make like a horrible mistake, but just like a careless, harmless mistake. Like when you see a celebrity say or do something that they probably shouldn't do, first thing that comes to my mind is Tom Holland. You think, ha ha ha, that's so me. Or if you see a celebrity like accidentally drop something and then audibly say, oopsie daisy, you say, haha, I do that. Sure, maybe there's a few examples of pre-2017 companies tapping into human relatability in a successful way, but it certainly wasn't commonplace or a trend. But things started getting complicated with Twitter. It was a new frontier of comedy, accounts roasting each other, a flourishing meme ecosystem, and one-liners galore. So one day, a Twitter user decided to make fun of Wendy's for their slogan, "Fresh, Never Frozen." So Wendy's responded with this tweet. And I personally believe whoever made the decision to fire off this tweet is solely responsible for the current state of online brand personas. You see, something interesting happened here. Everything that you see posted from the official Wendy's account, you go ahead and assume they have all sorts of filters, fail-safes, and planning that goes into this kind of stuff. So when you see something like this, you think something went wrong. Somebody purposefully broke this agreement and maybe they're in trouble. And guess what? That's funny and I relate to that. It's almost like it's a hidden message of anti-authority. Like, you think in the back of your head, one day, this employee who works at the Wendy social media marketing account just had enough and was like, fuck it, I'm gonna troll this random ass person on the official Twitter account. But either way, this tweet unearthed a very effective social media marketing strategy. A strategy to be unprofessional, but not like in a 90s in-your-face, purposefully rude kind of way. Like in a way where you think that somebody is going rogue. A way that makes you think that this brand is more human than it is. This was the catalyst. This is the source of the plague. If you ask me, I personally would have preferred them horribly misunderstanding internet culture like they used to. Everybody acted like a brand, acting like a sassy aunt online was the funniest thing on earth, and it eventually spread to other social media marketing offices. But I personally believe that one of the most recognizable success stories of online brand personas is Duolingo, a popular mobile app centered around language learning through small doses of daily practice. And it's funny that I say that because recently, Duolingo has lost a lot of the credibility that it forged with younger audiences. They achieved this credibility and success by playing into a comedy bit. I don't know if you've ever used Duolingo, but they send an ungodly amount of push notifications that reminds you to keep up your daily streak of language learning. Eventually, a running joke emerged in the form of an online meme where the Duolingo owl is always watching and stalking you, and if you break your daily streak, it will harm you and your family. After seeing a lot of success from leaning into this joke, Duolingo heavily invested in their online social media marketing team, and then they just continued to hop on every single meme and trend. Popular show, they're gonna put that fucking owl in there. Not even fairly niche memes are safe from Duolingo, which of course people like them, but again, it's a nail in the coffin every time a brand hops on a trend like this. But either way, the account was popular. They consistently got a crazy amount of engagement and views. Because they always have their finger on the pulse of these trends, they have been transformed into an example of an incredibly successful advertising identity by modern standards. But remember, folks, all good things must come to an end eventually. They made a terrible miscalculation. They thought that young people would be on board with AI first. Now, I am not a huge fan of AI. I think that it is robbing us of our intelligence, cognitive ability, and willpower. It is stripping us of our own creativity and regurgitating it back to us in the form of disgusting generation. It has the potential to steal work from humans. It's horrible for the environment and is generally dumb and off-putting among many other things. If you ever say the words, "Let's ask chat if this is real," and you pull out your phone to verify something using ChatGPT, you are cooked. Not to mention, you have a high chance of getting very wrong information, but you are most definitely cooked. But I will refrain from getting too deep into a conversation about the dangers of AI. I actually recently made that exact video. Go watch it if you want my personal in-depth perspective on AI. I think I do a pretty good job of explaining how fucking stupid it is, especially in the workforce. Oh my God. Never let an AI interview you for a job position.
Vertical bar Pilates, I Pilates, vertical bar 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 Pilates, to Pilates, vertical bar Pilates, vertical bar Pilates, vertical bar Pilates, vertical.
Now, Duolingo using AI. Not surprising at all. One of AI's most popular uses is in language learning technology. And as far as everyday AI uses go, I think that language learning specifically is one use that is not actively frying your brain and making you lazy. Like, yeah, it would be objectively better for your language learning journey and more ethical as a whole to practice language with another human. But people are lazy and they may not know people who speak the language that they want to learn, or they might not have enough money to pay for a tutor. What are you gonna do, right? This is all to say that it's not so surprising that Duolingo is going in on AI. It just seems like in general, pretty much all companies are doing it across the board. But here's the problem. Duolingo didn't simply just say, we are going to use AI. In an all-hands email, they said the following. Duolingo is going to be AI first. They're going to replace manual content creation with AI generated content. They are going to focus on AI video calls. They will gradually stop using contractors to do the work that AI can handle. AI will be used in the hiring process and for performance reviews.
Touch Besley, it's 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 touch Besley.
And, pretty contradictory, they state that Duolingo will remain a company that cares about its employees. Even though the entire point of initiatives like these is to shrink the internal workforce through automation. Like, yeah, they could in theory care about their current workforce, but they most definitely have plans to consolidate and hire less in the future. Not to mention, you know, already they're cutting contractors, which is a huge point in the Duolingo doesn't care about human labor argument. This is being framed as investing in AI technology at the right time, like with the shift from computers to smartphones that they did and saw success from. But we're not dumb, we weren't born yesterday, we all know that it's a money-saving move. That's the real appeal here, cheap labor. Now, language courses are tricky, and you really need to quality control them, or else the people who take these courses will eventually have fundamental issues in their progress. Do we think that AI-generated language courses will be anywhere near the same quality as human-created language courses? Yeah, like all AI-generated content, it is going to be sloppy and riddled with mistakes. This was ultimately an example of a company massively failing to read the room. You want to know who else has an AI-first strategy? Doge. Also, like you, they don't really care about human workers, evident by the insane amount of layoffs orchestrated by Doge. You want to know who's going to be the most negatively affected by companies deciding to go AI first? Recent college graduates trying to get a foot in the door of each respective industry. And it's not just Duolingo that's going AI first and laying off and or mapping out plans to lay off a crazy amount of workers. It's also UPS, Cisco, Intuit, Klarna, and more. Honestly, this whole cutting off contractors thing isn't even new for Duolingo. And I can tell you right now, so many people think that it's weird to brag about this. Why would they think that anybody besides specifically Duolingo execs would be excited about this information? All of these actions essentially tell a story. Duolingo doesn't give a shit about the young people who they are grifting towards. They don't care about their environmental future, they don't care about their professional future, they don't care about their views on AI, or even the immediate quality of their language learning experience. Also, the pursuit of learning a language is such a human desire. Like, I don't know, I kind of want my language learning service to kind of give a shit about humans instead of being AI first. All of these components mingling together have created this very clear backlash towards Duolingo. Other language learning apps that have not shared this enthusiasm of AI have already experienced a large spike in new users. Duolingo social media accounts are getting flamed in the comment sections by the very same users who used to like and repost their video memes. The work of their marketing efforts, which many people view as an outstanding success, is starting to roll back a little. Which is really fascinating because at the end of the day, they could have just continued to implement what they planned without saying a word about it publicly. You know, without openly endorsing a widely controversial concept. They really would have been fine if they just played this quietly. And now they're doing damage control. And it's really bad damage control. I shit you not, the CEO got on television and said, I'm paraphrasing here, all you dumbass children misunderstood the email. We're not replacing our workers with AI. We're just not paying humans to do the work that AI will do for free. It's fascinating how bad they're playing this. Here's an idea, Mr. CEO of Duolingo. If you are really AI first, step down. Step down and boot up that CEO bot. Are you trying to tell everyone that you're more efficient than a computer? I bet that ChatGPT could work circles around you. Pack it up, fries, bag. But hands down, what is the most fascinating aspect of this entire situation is that I'm not sure if they know. You remember when I said that people already use AI to learn languages? As in they are using AI programs instead of Duolingo for free. So their big-brained plan, their war-winning strategy, is to compete against AI by using AI to power their paid subscription model. When learning AI is already free, and as far as I know, ad-free as well. Dude, they're done for. That is actually so brain dead. Like, if AI continues at its current trajectory, I think that either way, Duolingo is done for. But the better move here for Duolingo is to have an anti-AI stance. If they were like, we're the human-powered language learning service, language learning is a human pursuit, AI is riddled with mistakes, yada, yada, yada. Instead of doing that, they're suiting up for a battle that they will most definitely lose, and in the process, they pissed off everyone who was on their side. And I think that people very often overlook and underestimate the power of the loss of credibility, specifically when it comes to millennials and Gen Z. Like, they will definitely try to post through this and make their dumbass meme videos, but younger audiences are vindictive motherfuckers. They will not easily forgive a transgression like this. And this move was a very quick shift from universally liked to rapidly disliked from a public relations standpoint. From my perspective, it kind of just seems like they slammed the acceleration button, which leaves me baffled to say the least. I'm very curious to see what will happen from stuff like this. I don't think that AI is going anywhere. But from a PR perspective, it's such a bad idea to openly say we're going AI first. It's pretty clear why, and more examples of situations like this will most definitely have an impact on AI rollout. So in other words, we gotta stay strong. To wrap this all up, I think that it's very interesting that we are seeing this crossover. An online brand persona getting completely dogpiled for fully endorsing AI. Two concepts that are inherently anti-human coming together and creating a perfect storm. This crossover had an unexpected outcome that I ultimately think is a small win for normal-ass humans. Or at the very least, it's kind of entertaining for us to watch. Fuck Duolingo, fuck exploitative AI. Now excuse me while I rewatch One Piece with a Spanish dub. Learning Spanish the way God intended. I got a Patreon. Exclusive videos, other perks, your username in an end of video shout out. Check the description for more info. Show me my patrons. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone.